is it okay for people with different blood types to mix? It is if they're compatible, because certain blood types are not compatible. That's why I gave that example of how the Cro-Magnon was wiped out, because what it was is the Basque, they made sure that when you're dealing with a positive and negative or incompatible blood types, that the offspring's not going to survive. This is what causes things like, for example, sickle cell. It's important to know your blood types, because some blood types are not compatible. So if people don't do the research and make sure that the people they're gonna mix with they're compatible, then it results in things like, you know what I mean, certain ailments, yeah? And that's just like in our ancient times, that's what the elders used to do. They used to not only match you based on health reasons, but even astronomical in terms of the energy and the alignment. And, you know, there were reasons to see a person's nature. They could study a child. Even before naming the child, they studied the child's nature. And we were supposed to continue to do that. And we do that in our culture, because if you don't, I mean, it became things like arranged marriages now in certain cultures. And that's because the two families, they study and make sure it's bloodlines. Even when you start to deal with certain royal families, it's about maintaining a particular bloodline, you see. So when you ask the question, it's serious, but most people have kind of lost that. They don't really get to know people and know what diseases in the family line, what, you know what I mean? Like, are they gonna pass that on? Because once you exchange DNA, yeah, we have a natural fact called genetic kiss, right? Genetic kiss, which is right here. Yeah, the genetic kiss, actual fact 109. This is definitely one that you should read, because it deals with not just blood, but even saliva, because you're dealing with DNA. And, you know, that's why they do swab and DNA testing with just taking a little sample of your saliva. If you remember, during COVID, that's what they were doing. You had to put your saliva and send it off so they can check and make sure that. Like, let me just read a little bit of Genetic Kiss. Absolutely one of my favorite scrolls. All right. It says, to kiss or caress with your lips, even your mouth, use your tongue and exchange saliva. 2, genetics science deals with hereditary variation, reproduction related to a gene, the biological factors determining heredity. 3, the hereditary tendency of an organism is to transmit its own nature to its descendants. 4, so there is much to one open mouth kiss, and even more to sexual exchange of bodily fluids. 5, you are like all others, 30 other people's genes for 4 generations. Yeah, back even the zodiacal signs of each affects you, right? So you've got generations starting with you at the top. You go down 4 levels. The first level is your mother and your father, okay? Then the second level is their mother and their fathers. Then the third level is, so let's look at it. So it'd be like you, your mum and dad, then it's your grandparents, then it's your great-grandparents, then it's your great-great-grandparents. That's going down 4 generations or 4 level. And you count all those people up. That's what we're talking about when we keep saying the 30 U's, including you, all right? But you subtract from that 30, the people that are alive, okay? So if you're alive, you take away 1, so it becomes 29 that are on the other side that are affecting you. If your mother and father are still alive, you subtract 2, so then the others will become 27. You follow? Right, so 6, when you kiss someone or exchange any bodily fluids, You're taking in all 30 people and everything about each, good and bad, diseases, emotions. You're taking it all, the whole beings. 7, that's the reason why when you catch your mate with another, what you think is hurt, it's in fact all the beings in your bloodline genes crying out to your physical. Okay? 8, you become physically sick, not just cry, but even vomit, have stomach pain, need to relieve your bowels, get a headache, nosebleeds, become weak and even sleepy. 9, your inner voices crowd your mind. 10, in some cases, take over and people unalive others or themselves. Yeah? 11, some fight others, die from what is called a broken heart. 12, your inner beings wish this person's genes out of your body. Yeah? Out, his or her being, out and gone. 13, that is the strange feeling you think is betrayal or cheating on you. 14, and you outright lose control. 15, it's the inner family that are upset. 16, it goes back to the 30 personalities in you of your ancestors. 17, if you are a vegetarian and have been one for years, that is obviously you. 18, this ties into the question that I think T was asking. 18, that is your conscious choice. 19, then one day you smell a burger and you suddenly have this urge to eat this burger after being a vegetarian, say for 20 years. 20, what is that? 21, well, one of your ancestors may have been a real carnivore, and after smelling the scent of the burger, which is in the air and goes in your nose, so you are actually intaking tiny bits of this burger, and it awakens someone who wants it. 22, now, consciously you are saying, I know I shouldn't eat that burger. I don't even like meat, but for some reason, I've been craving this burger since I smelt it that day or the day before. 23, again, that is not you. 24, now here is the clincher. 25, if you give in to that personality, who may have been number 30, let's say, now they have moved up one place on the ladder, and are now the ladder from the 4 generations that I mentioned, and now they're number 29, 26. They actually have become stronger. And if you keep feeding that force, that 30, who may have been, glutton. 27, which means it is not going to stop with food. It can turn into something and everything else if you do not get that personality under control. You see, this is what I was saying. If you keep succumbing to it, I'll read a few more verses and then I'll stop. It says 28, looking at you from the outside, people may say, well, so-and-so changed. 29, they used to be so this or that. 30, now they seem totally different. 31, that is because the so-and-so you knew is now suppressed for whatever reason, and 30 took over. 32, so in essence, they are totally different because someone else is in the driver's seat now. Does the body work off of heat or cold? 34, heat. And to feed that fire, you must have fuel, which is the food you consume. You see? 35, your body is your own personal temple, and the fire is what burns the food inside you. 36, that same scent that your body gives off is what can attract a lion to want to eat you. The problem, 37, the problem is people are forgetting that they are just another animal. 38, your body acts as the altar to a temple, and different beings are attracted to what is placed on your altar. So if you consume lots of blood or red meat, thus you will attract those type of beings as well. 40, if you put lots of grains or plants on your altar, you will attract those types of beings as well. You are what you eat. Okay, I'll stop there, but this is what I was explaining. So you hear a lot of people say the body is the temple. If the body is the temple, then you have an altar in your temple. And that's when you're eating food, what's happening is your body generates heat because you have something called the solar plexus, which when you go and blow on your hand, you feel the heat because that's what's happening. You're taking in oxygen that is being burnt and converting into what? Carbon dioxide. Carbon is the residue of burning. So what's happening is you're eating this food, the acid in the blood, once the food has been broken down into liquid, that's why you chew the food and then it goes through the system. It then burns that food and then you're porous, meaning you got pores. And the burning of the food gives off the gases that come out of your body, and then you smell of what you eat. And there's a movie called World War Z, or World War Z, as we say in the UK. If you watch that, it will explain, because it's dealing with the zombie apocalypse, how zombies are attracted to beings that are giving off a particular type of smell, you see. And again, that's why he explained there that when you're in the jungle, for example, where animals are, they have a heightened sense of smell. So they can actually smell you from a mile off. This is one of the reasons why when people try to go and look for Bigfoot, you know, we have an actual fact. Is it back there? Yeah, we have an actual fact called Bigfoot, where, yeah, they try to find them. They go in the forest or in the jungle and then they can't, because they smell you as a human being. Animals can smell you, you see, because of what you eat. You ooze off that. You even smell other people, like, you know, for example, if an Asian person eats certain types of foods, whether it's curries or whatever, you can smell that, and certain other races too, you know. So I hope that, I know I went on a bit, but I hope that helped.